Devil's Tango. We should have a musical intro.
Yeah.
I should have someone. We should run a contest. Someone can make one.
Or you could play a little ditty on the keyboard.
Sex. Something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Doing the Devil's Tango. It's our semi-regular.
Alex forgets to put the episode up sometimes.
I don't forget. I just get busy making videos about Spy Kids and Mean Girls. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's be honest. Movie videos take a long time to make, and it's kind of hard to focus on other things while I'm doing it, just because it's it's oh, I gotta wake up and work on this. Okay, gotta do the thing. So it's hard to. I forgot. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Let's go with that. I forgot because I was busy doing other things like making videos and frivolously worrying about my channel dying, which it's not because video's doing good. Anyway, so this is our podcast where we take your guys', girls', and whatever is
Guys, gals,
emails.
and non-binary pals.
Oh, that's adorable. We take your emails about dating and romance advice and just, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, how do I get a girlfriend? I'm 13. What do I do? Things like that. We take those emails and we just say our thoughts because I just turned 33. Having an emphysema attack. I just turned 33. Kelsey's 27. So we're not like experts, but we're just maybe older than, most of you, apparently, by the emails that we get. We're older than most of you. And we've been around the block, been in a lot of bad relationships, and finally been in one good one. I think, allegedly, one good one.
It's all right.
It's okay?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. And so we just give our thoughts and advice because I know when you're young, when you're that age, when you're 15 and you're 20 and 22, whatever, it's like all these things seem like such a huge deal, and you're like, what do I do? How can I possibly move on from this? How can I possibly break up with someone? Whatever. And then now that we're older, we realize none of this stuff's really that big of a deal. So that's all we do with this podcast. We give our advice about things and stuff. But first of all, life update. Kelsey's pregnant. I was kidding.
What? It's news to me.
Now, what do we do? What's going on in our lives right now, Kelsey? Watching Dexter.
Yeah, I got Alex to watch Dexter with me.
Because the new season's coming out later this year, right?
Yeah.
And
so I wanted to rewatch it.
Yeah, so Kelsey's like, we have to watch Dexter because new season's coming out, and I want to watch it again, and I'm going to make you watch it. And so that's what we do now. We watch Dexter, and we watch the Girls Next Door.
Yeah, we've also been watching The Girls Next Door.
the 2005 masterpiece of E! Entertainment about the girls who used to live in the Playboy Mansion back when that was the thing, I guess.
Yep. It's a good show.
Is it?
I like it.
Is it a good show? Aside from the random boobies?
It's delightfully awkward.
Yeah, it's one of those early 2000s reality shows that it's just so early 2000s or mid 2000s, whatever, 2005, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much to that. The fashion, the way they talk, just all of it.
They're like, we're going to watch Napoleon Dynamite. It was so funny. It's really funny. It's all on YouTube, I think. You can watch it on there. In terrible quality.
Yeah, it's 2005 to be fair, but yeah, it's all up on YouTube in 240p. It's probably up. You can probably rent it or buy it on Amazon Prime or something at this point, or maybe it's streaming somewhere. I don't know. I have to look that up. I don't know why anyone would bother streaming it, but it's probably streaming somewhere. But yeah, that show is delightfully awkward. And it's just funny how they're trying so hard to make it seem like it's this legitimate, wholesome kind of thing. So we're all dating Hugh Hefner, but he's such a sweet man, and we all dress up for him and make cookies, and you're like, this is the most bizarre thing I have ever seen in my life. But yeah, so watching Dexter and Girls Next Door, Yeah. Just two peas in a pod on that one.
Yep. I mean, similar shows, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Same premise, basically. Yeah. What else are we doing in our lives? We just play lots of video games. We played through Stardew Valley. 100%ed that game, which is insane. I'm just playing random games.
Yeah, we just started playing Firewatch yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a walking simulator
simulator type game. Yeah, it came out 5 or 6 years ago, something like that.
I like it.
It's good. Well, and then we played through Resident Evil 8 in one day.
Yes. When Resident Evil 8 came out, we played it, all in one day.
Yeah.
13 hours or something.
We just started 2 p.m. and played until 3 a.m. and just finished the whole thing. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty okay.
I liked it.
You know what I'm saying? It's pretty good. Anyway.
Big vampire lady.
Yeah, you know,
cool.
Kelsey's search history has gone through some phases where she's into these really tall, large-bosomed women now.
Oh, it's my search history?
It's our search history. Okay.
Alex is downplaying his involvement.
I mean...
Every day I see him searching up.
Not every day. I'm just trying to find stuff for you, honey. Uh-huh. You know, because I know how into that you are.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyway.
Emails.
So, here we go. First email. Reaching out to someone after a year of dating for a few weeks.
Wait.
No.
You want to
after a year of dating for a few weeks. Time is irrelevant, Kelsey. Did you know that time doesn't exist?
Okay, take 2.
Reaching out to someone a year after dating them for a few weeks. That makes more sense.
There you go.
I can talk. Hi, Kelsey and Alex. First of all, this person is named Kay, by the way. First of all, I love the podcast and can listen to you guys talk about anything. We'll see about that with this one.
Like tall vampire ladies?
Like tall vampire ladies with big titties. Just want to... Anyway, I'm a 25-year-old girl, and back in October 2019, I met someone who I really clicked with. We dated, in quotes, for about 3 weeks. Is that dating? I don't know. Seems like you were just seeing each other. But whatever. Doesn't matter. Without being anything official. But it felt like things were moving quickly in a good way, and we were basically talking and spending time together every day. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It sounds cheesy, but it felt like I had met my soulmate. Oh. The thing is, at the time, I was traveling every week for work and had crazy hours and was also applying to grad school. I ended up breaking things off because I felt like I wouldn't be able to invest enough time into the relationship. When COVID hit, I moved away from the city, but we kept in touch on and off until last July. I just recently returned to the city. And I know it's been over for about a year and a half now, but I'm still pretty hung up on him and would be interested in seeing if he'd be willing to give it another try. Would it be a good idea to reach out to him, or has it been too long and should I just let this go? If it wouldn't be too out of left field to reach out, how would you recommend I do so? So question is, they dated a year ago for a few weeks, and at that time she wasn't ready, you know? She was too busy with life and all that. And then... now things have calmed down and she's like, hey, should I reach out to this guy again? Because he was pretty cool. What do you think, Kelsey? So, do you think she should reach out to this guy she dated a year ago for just a few weeks? Because she feels like, oh, this guy was really great for me. Things were awesome, but my life was too busy at the time. And now it's not. So, do you think it's weird to reach out? Like, because it says they haven't, like, spoken in, like, a year or so, right? It says they still kept in touch until last July, and now we're entering June, right? So, do you think it'd be weird if you... Let's reverse it, right? Do you think it'd be weird if you dated a guy, quote-unquote date, let's say you were seeing, you know, you went on a couple dates or whatever with a guy for about a few weeks, and then you kept talking, but then you just, like, stopped talking because life got in the way and whatever. And then a year later, if he reached out to you, he was like, hey, Kelsey, do you think it'd be, like, a weird thing, or do you think... you would be receptive to it if you were, like, single, or how do you think that would be for you?
Well, it depends on a multitude of factors. Like, if you like the guy that much, how the relationship was going beforehand, how it ended, whatever. I may answer, I may not, or, yeah, I don't know. It's dependent on a lot of different factors. But do I think that it's weird? Not really. I'm a big proponent of just being honest with your feelings.
Yeah, I think because the girl says, Kay, her name is, she says that she felt like he was her soulmate and it was so great for her. But yeah, I wonder how it was for him, right? But I mean, I feel like for, you know, like men will reach out to women years after they spoke.
Because they want to get laid.
Because they're horny at that particular moment, and they're just going through their phone and be like, Kelsey, I haven't spoke to Kelsey in a long time. Hey, you up? You know?
So to me, that wouldn't seem very, like I would think they just want to get in my pants, so I would probably ignore them trying to reach out to me.
Yeah, but then flipping it over, like, that rarely happens to guys, I think. That a girl would reach out a year later and be like, hey, so I'm thinking about you, and, you know, what we had was great. And I feel like the guy, I know nothing about him, okay, but I feel like the guy would be very receptive to that. assuming he's single and not a douchebag. You know, like if you're just like some dude and then, you know, like he's probably still hung up on her, I would imagine as well, because he's a guy. And if she just like reached out a year after the thing and was like, hey, I want to talk, I want to hang out again, whatever, I feel like he'd be like totally down for it.
Yeah, assuming he doesn't like have a girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably at least respond and like talk to you about it. So
yeah, like I feel like this kind of thing happens to girls not often, but like relatively often. Where like guys will just reach out like years later, like, remember we talked once at a party in college, and you're like, dude, I'm 35 now. But yeah, it really happens to men. So I feel like if you're a girl and you're worried about like, would it be weird if I did? No, it wouldn't, because like from a guy's point of view, it'd be like, she's still thinking about me, what? You know. So I think you should do it. Okay.
What about how though?
How?
How
right.
would you recommend doing it?
Literally any way.
Carrier pigeon.
Yeah. Smoke signals. I mean, like, I don't know how they used to talk, but I mean, I assume she knows his social media or maybe his phone number, his email, whatever it is. Like, whatever way you used to talk to them, just do that again.
Show up outside of his house with a boombox.
Play the Ninja Turtles theme song.
Yeah.
Instant erection. What?
You heard it here, folks.
No, but I mean, like literally, send him an email, DM him on the whatever. I don't know what. I mean, you're 25, so hopefully you're not on Snapchat. Good Lord, but I mean, you know, like send him a thing that you used to do before, and just be like, hey, remember how last year we dated, and I was actually really like. I say, I mean, I'm a proponent of being honest in that way as well, where it's just like. I mean, everyone should be. But, you know, like, you don't really need to be coy about it. Just be like, hey, so remember last year how we dated and I was, like, really too busy? Like, I actually really liked you at the time, but I was just really, like, too busy and I couldn't focus on too many things. But things have calmed down a lot, and I'm wondering, how you doing? And what's life like for you right now? Just been thinking of you. But like, guys never hear that stuff. So if you're saying, like, hey, I've been thinking about you recently and want to talk about, like, I assume he would be like me, which would be ecstatic. You know, if I was like a single dude during COVID, and then some girl from years ago was like, hey, I'm thinking about you right now, I'd be like, oh, are you now? So yeah, like you're probably overthinking this, which, you know, I never do and Kelsey never does. But
No.
Just kidding, we do it a lot, everybody. But I'm saying you're probably thinking way too much about it. Like, literally just reach out and talk to him the way you used to. Like, pretend like nothing happened. I mean, what I mean is, like, pretend like the whole year and a half gap never happened. Like, just be like, hey, long time. It was just like, I don't know. Like, pretend like you're still friends and still whatever. Just keep it like really casual and light. And then I assume he'll respond and be receptive and be like, hey, so how's life going for you right now? You single? You know what I'm saying?
Well, at some point, she should probably say something about how, like, they stopped talking and she missed talking to him and she wants to see him again now or whatever.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, I was exaggerating a bit, but I just mean, like, just reach out and just in a friendly, lighthearted way, you know, and be like, what I mean is, like, you know, don't write like this huge, long, like 3-page thing explaining, oh, I'm so sorry we didn't speak for so long and here's why and blah, blah, blah. Just have like a friendly, like, hey, you know, it's been a long time. I've been thinking about you recently. I know we stopped talking. You know, I wish we hadn't stopped, but life's crazy. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of emojis and stuff. And then be like, so how you been lately? You know, like, life for me is just, you know, COVID. You know what I'm saying? How's things for you? And then casually figure out if he's single and figure out what's going on. And then if he's like, yeah, you know, I liked you a lot too. It's too bad you were too busy. I mean, this is kind of the setup of like a Hallmark Channel rom-com. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we dated a little while ago, but I was too busy with my career. But then now I'm fine and I want. Well, no, this is literally Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which sounds bad in this context. But the show is like they used to date and then they didn't talk for years and years. And then they meet up again by chance. And it's not exactly the same, but like I think he would be receptive to it. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
shoot your shot.
If something was there before, chances are it'll be there again, unless he's not single, in which case, you know, that sucks, but that's life. So shoot your shot. Just don't overthink it and just be all like friendly and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Good luck.
Next email says, help! 3 exclamation points. My anxiety is eating me up.
What's that like?
My anxiety is eating me out.
What?
Record scratch. You want to read this one? Since you're the local anxiety connoisseur.
True.
It's Kelsey time, everybody. Everybody sit crisscross applesauce. Kelsey's going to read a story.
Okay. Says, "Hi, Kelsey and Alex. I love the podcast. It really boosts my mood every time I listen to it. Thank you.
Oh?
I need your guys' help. I have very low self-esteem.
Hey, join the club.
And my friends have to do with it. I've been in 2 toxic friendships before, but now I have found 2 wonderful and smart friends. I am a person that compares myself to everyone around me. I think everyone does that.
That's just human nature. Like, everyone knows you shouldn't, but everyone does it, you know?
Yeah. I don't compare looks, but I compare smarts. I always think that everyone around me is way smarter and that I'm just a dumb idiot. I've always been a hardworking student and I get good grades, but I feel that by comparing myself, it affects the way I do in school. Me and my 2 friends are ahead in our math class by 1 year. Because of this math class, I started to get anxiety. Whenever we would have a test, I would just leave the Zoom because I was too nervous I would fail. I talked to my teacher about it and she said that others have difficulty too and I'm not the only one, but I still feel behind everyone. I was always known as the smart child in my family, but now I feel like I'm disappointing my parents, even though they don't know what I go through on a daily basis.
Okay, I feel like that's the root of the whole issue, but continue.
Any advice from you guys will help.
Okay. So that last part right there, I feel like is the root of the entire issue. She's like...
I was known as the smart child in my family, but now I feel like I'm disappointing my parents.
Yeah.
That part. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, when you grow up... I mean, I feel like you and I can both attest to this. Where it's like, when you grow up and you're told by your family and your teachers when you're young, right? Like young, like kid, like first grade, whatever. And you're told like, oh, you're so talented, you're so smart, you're such a genius, you're so whatever. And they kind of put all these expectations on you where it's like, at the time, it's like school's so easy and I'm so smart and my parents think I'm cool and my parents like love me and stuff. And then you get into advanced classes and you're skipping grades and you're, taking college credit courses and whatever. And suddenly it's like, oh, I'm actually like maybe a little bit above average, but I'm not that special actually.
Yeah.
But you've been gassed up so much when you were a kid, right?
Right.
I feel like that is the root of all of this issue. I mean, okay, I don't know what else is going on in your life. I'm saying for what you've written in here, it sounds like that's the core issue, is that your parents and early childhood teachers put too much emphasis on how smart you are rather than how hard you work.
Yeah, now when you face adversity, you don't know how to handle it because you've been used to just skating by, which I get.
And that's kind of what you were like, right? A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Good talk, Kels. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I mean, that just happens to, like, gifted kids. You're used to just kind of skating by, and then when stuff actually starts to get hard, you don't know how to deal with it because you're used to just, like, being naturally smart. So then you don't know how to, like, study well or whatever.
Yeah, I think that right there is a big consequence of like telling kids that they're gifted and like, oh, like you're just such a natural whatever. It's like, yeah, it gets them into this pattern because I was the same way too because I hated school. I loved learning, but I hated school. And like it wasn't until like my early 20s that I actually like learned how to learn and I started teaching myself things like IT stuff and Japanese and like now I can teach myself like anything. Not because I'm smart, because I finally learned how to learn for me. And when you're young and like going through school and everything's like so easy for you and you're told of, you're so smart and therefore things come naturally. And then when something is difficult, you're like, oh, that's just not for me. That's just not my thing. Rather than like, oh, I actually have to try now, Mm-hmm. And so then it gets you this weird cycle where like, doing anything new that you're not instantly perfect at becomes very stressful. Kelsey.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is not like an embarrassing thing, but like when I was teaching Kelsey how to edit audio, because Kelsey edits the podcast, and I remember when I first taught you how to edit audio, because you'd never done it before, and so you were like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to do it, and you would have like almost like nervous breakdowns.
Yeah.
You'd like cry. Right. And I'm not saying it's to embarrass you. I'm saying it's like, this is a thing that people go through when they're gassed up so much as a kid. And it's like, oh, you're such a genius. You're so smart at the things that you're doing. And then you do anything outside of that. And you're like, I'm an idiot. I'm worthless. You know. But now you can edit podcasts like in like 20 minutes. Like now it's just like wham, bam, bow, it's done.
Yeah.
But like for the first couple times, I remember you were so stressed out. So stressed out.
Yeah. Because when you're used to being good at everything that you do and then you're not, it's like, well, something's wrong with me then, obviously. But no, you just have to put in a little bit of effort, which you're not used to having to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're not, well, this is true. I feel not just with learning, but just anyone and anything in life where it's like, let me tell you about life, Kelsey. No, but it's like when you get so used to like a certain amount of effort, then like doing more than that seems like insurmountable. Mm-hmm. Like a good example is like, my YouTube videos take a long time to make. Animation is very tedious and meticulous, and it takes a long time to do lots of things. Very tedious, frame by frame, you got to do the thing, and it takes a long time to make. And so for me to do like a regular type YouTube video where I just film myself and talk at the camera, like to me that would seem so easy. I'd be like, oh my goodness, I can do this every day. This is amazing. But then if someone who made those kinds of YouTube videos sat down and tried to make an animation, they'd probably give up real quick. They'd be like, this is so tedious. I can never do this. Mm-hmm. And so it's like when you're used to something being a certain way and then it's a little bit different or a little bit more difficult or whatever, then some people, they're just like, oh my goodness, this is so hard. Because you get into that pattern of like doing things a certain way or doing things just enough or whatever, I feel this with like video games too, right? Where it's like we'll play a game and if it's really hard, you die a lot, then you just like don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah, instead of just like taking the time to learn how to get better at it.
Like I remember when we tried Cuphead.
This is just Alex roasting me.
I'm not roasting. No, I'm just saying it's a good example, right? Where it's like, the games where you die a lot, like Cuphead or something like that. It's like, yeah, I can understand. Well, like there's been several games I've played where it's like, oh, I died 347 times before I beat this game. And then you're always like, how can you possibly play a game like that where you die so many times?
Yeah, because I also have like anger issues too, though.
Yes.
I had to take anger management classes in elementary school, guys.
Because you used to just kill people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I totally get what this person is saying. Are they anonymous? We'll just say so. I understand what they're saying, where it's like you have so much pressure growing up as like a genius, talented, and gifted, smart kid, and then when anything is difficult, you're just like, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
So her question is, how does she deal with that, or what is her concern? She just
please help.
Just venting.
Any advice you guys have will help. Please help. Well, when I was in high school, I wasn't very good at math. Like, I was very good at, like, English and history and all the other stuff, but, like, I was not very good at math. So I got tutored in math, and that helped me a lot. So you could see if you could get extra help from your teacher or get a math tutor or something like that, something to help you. And it doesn't mean that you're dumb if you need to get tutoring. It makes you smart because you're reaching out. You recognize that you need more help and you're reaching out for it.
Yeah, I mean, think of it this way, okay? Olympic athletes have coaches, okay? Like, the people who are, like, the best of the best at gymnastics have a coach that helps them get better, right? So it's like the idea of, like, oh, I need a tutor in math, therefore I must be an idiot. It's like, no, you need someone who knows more than you about something to help you get better at it. That's like the most normal thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, Olympic athletes who do a sport for 12 hours a day, every day, they're the best in the country, nay, the best in the world. They have coaches and people who help them get better. So, like, the idea of like, oh, I need a tutor, I must be stupid or whatever, it's like, that literally means the opposite. It means you recognize that you need help in something and you find someone who can help you. That's all it means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I suggest doing that.
I don't like math at all, really, and I actually just gave up.
You did?
I got to trigonometry, and it was too hard, and I just quit.
Oh, I never got even close to that far.
I got to trig, and then I quit, and I replaced it with a second choir class. That's how cool I was. I had 2 choir classes my last year of high school. I know.
Skipped a grade, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever talked about that.
No. Yeah, I graduated in 3 years, which is not as hard as it sounds. To graduate in 3 years, all I had to do was just not take study halls. Or, like, as people get to junior, senior year, at least in my school, like, they would just take as few classes possible. So like, it get to senior year and some seniors would literally have like 3 classes and that was it. So for me, just the first 3 years of high school, or the only 3 years, I guess I should say, I just had full 7 periods the whole time. And then that gave me enough credits to graduate. Well, I also did, okay, that's not fair. I also did summer school stuff. I knocked out like health and econ and certain American history classes over summer school. So I guess I did a bit of extra work, but like it's like skipping a grade sounds like, oh, you must be a genius, but it's literally just like I had no friends. So over the summer, I was like, I have nothing else to do. I just want to knock out these classes. So I got like 10 credits over the summer between sophomore and junior year, I think. I was also highly motivated because high school sucked. So I was like, I want to get out of here. So I graduated early, moved to Tokyo. 12 years went by. What a life.
Smarty pants.
I'm very good at a few things, and I know nothing about most things. I can make cartoons and watch Disney Channel movies.
Yep. And play several instruments, speak multiple languages. He's amazing.
Anyway, so yeah, I'd say, if math is your concern, do what Kelsey said, and just like get a tutor. Just take it one day at a time. Like, being not good at everything is literally the most normal thing. Once you realize that, it'll be like a huge weight off your shoulders.
Yeah. And I guess tutoring can be like prohibitively expensive, maybe.
But think of the rom-com life you could have where you get tutored by like the hot guy or whatever.
True.
And then you fall for him, but he's actually dating a girl who's one of your friends. And then you can't admit that you like him because he's dating your friend, but you do like him. What are you going to do about it? And then he and your friend have like a fight, and then you just happen to be there, and he puts all this like emotional stuff on you, and you're like, oh, he's a man with emotions. Oh my goodness. And then you guys kiss, but you can't tell your friend that you kiss. He's like, yo, we need to keep it a secret. And then you're like, okay. But then you feel bad about keeping I watched a lot of movies. Next email. Moving on from an ex. Hello, Kelsey and Alex. I am anonymous from Ghana. Love your YouTube channel and podcast. I'm 29. Okay. My girlfriend and I broke up 4 years ago.
Girlfriend of 4 years. Girlfriend and I have 4 years, broke up 4 years ago.
Did I lie?
You didn't state the amount of time that they were together. Continue.
My girlfriend of 4 years and I broke up 4 years ago. Long story short, she left me for another guy. At least that's what she told me. Not sure if she's seeing anyone now or not. Kind of lost touch. Good. My issue is, I've not really been able to start a serious relationship with someone else since. I've dated twice since then, but it's just a short 5 to 6 month fling, and nothing serious or lasting. I don't know if 6 months is a fling, but I mean, okay, I get what you're saying. They both wanted to make it serious, but for some reason I did not. I often think I've moved on from my ex till I start dating someone else, and then I start getting paranoid and second-guessing everything. Again, what do you guys think about this situation? Any advice would be appreciated. Thanks.
What do you think?
What do I think? You date someone for 4 years, or an extended period of time, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is, and then you break up, and they've been broken up for 4 years now, right? Mm-hmm. And you just can't stop thinking about her, even though you've dated other people.
Is it that he can't stop thinking about her, or that she, effectively ruined him for other relationships?
She has big old boobies, and I just can't get over it. Well, that's the thing, right? It says, I often think I moved on from her, but then I start dating, and I get paranoid and second-guessing everything. Paranoid about what, anonymous man?
That they're going to cheat on him, or leave him for another guy or something, like she did?
Okay, yeah, because she liked someone else, and then broke up with him for this alleged someone. And so he's paranoid about that, perhaps. He's paranoid that they're just going to do the same things, leave me for another guy. I must be broken. I'm a worthless piece of garbage.
It doesn't sound like he's still pining after her. It sounds like she left him with some issues.
Which is very common, I think, right? That's the thing about relationships. Everyone wants to get in a relationship, but relationships kind of ruin everyone. Being in relationships makes you emotionally vulnerable, and so when something bad happens to you, it feels like so much worse than it is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Kelsey?
Yeah.
No, but what were you talking about? Oh, yeah. So being in a relationship that ended not great, like, for example, if someone leaves you for someone else or cheats on you with someone else, then it definitely can make you feel like, oh, I must just be, like, worthless then, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, like, I must be not attractive, or I'm not sexy, or I'm not funny, or I'm not whatever, because, like, I wasn't even good enough to keep this girl for more than whatever. She left me for some dude with a thing that I don't have or whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. So I can totally get that. And I mean, but, like, you know, how do you get, I don't know how do you get over that? You just, this sounds so dumb, but, like, you just do, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you just have to realize that, like, I mean, okay. So, like, you know, it's definitely like it's like a defense coping mechanism type thing where it's like, I dated someone who broke my heart or whatever, and I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm going to second guess everything now. But it's really unfair to other people to kind of assume that they're going to be like someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because each person is obviously unique and
their
own individual. So,
like, everyone's different, which sounds like such like a like no duh, right? but it's like people seem to forget that, though. It's like everyone is different. Like, yeah, like you dated a guy who is a complete douche or whatever, but then, you know, the next person you're gonna date is, there's a good chance they're not going to be that. But if you assume that they are and you treat them like they're going to be, then the relationship is kind of destined to fail anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, because you're like waiting for it to fail, or you're waiting for them to lie to you, or you're waiting for them to do something. And so it's like how can you expect to have a positive relationship with anyone when you immediately assume that they're going to be like bad or let you down, or like you're just like waiting. It's like, you know, those like people on YouTube and on the internet, they're like the reactionaries, you know, like they just get upset about everything.
Yeah.
They're like, can you believe it? And it's like, they literally just scour the internet finding things to get upset about, you know? And like, people do that in relationships, I feel like, where like they find someone like, oh, he's cute, or oh, she's cute, or whatever, and they start dating. And then once it gets serious, you kind of find yourself just looking for the thing that you're going to get upset about. It's very common for people to do this, where you look for, it's like you self-sabotage in a way. Like, you look for things to be like, aha,
yeah,
I'm on to you.
I knew it. Yeah.
Skeletor. You know? But, like, how do you stop doing that? You just have to stop, which is, like, not advice at all. But, like, you know what I mean?
You can't project your past relationship stuff onto people that you're going to date now.
Yeah, like, you can't expect the person you're dating now to, like, atone for the sins of your ex or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, like, I can't think of a good example, but it's just like, you know, if, like, why are you punishing someone else for something that a different person did? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like if your ex cheated on you, for example, then you can't be, like, up every person's ass that you date from then on about them cheating on you, because they're probably not, and then that's just gonna, like, ruin your relationship. You're gonna be all paranoid, and then they're gonna get upset that you're always suspecting them, and it will just ruin it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, again, like, I wish I had some kind of concrete advice about, like, I just do this and then all your problems will be solved. But, like, you just kind of have to, you know, realize that everyone is different and most people are fine. Well, I guess I don't know. It depends on who you're dating. Seems like you've dated a lot of not so great people, but, you know, I don't know. Maybe there's just, like, worse men than women out there. There's a lot of crazy girls out there too, let's be honest here. But, you know. So, to you, anonymous man from Ghana, I would say, I don't know, you just gotta realize that, you know, whatever it is you're paranoid about or second guessing everything or whatever it is about, it's irrational. Because they're different, and it's been 4 years since you dated the person who left you for someone else or whatever. So whatever it is you're hung up on, you know, you're not doing yourself any favors by remaining hung up on it.
It's hard to let your guard down when it's up about stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
But if you want to have, like, a good, healthy relationship, you just have to figure out a way to work past it.
It's like when you play Cuphead. You just have to know that you're going to die like 1,000 times before you beat the boss. That's just the kind of game it is. That's how relationships are. You're going to die inside 1,000 times before you get any slim chance of happiness.
Good luck.
Good luck. Thanks, Disney Channel. Okay. Let's do this one. How about you read this one?
Okay. It's called Can You Forgive a Repentant Cheater?
Spicy.
Let me start by saying I absolutely love your podcast, and I've been keeping up with it since day one.
See, there are dozens of them who like this podcast. Dozens of people like it. At least 20.
I once dated this guy back in high school.
Well, okay, you're doing it wrong already, okay? Every high school relationship is terrible. Go ahead, sorry. I'm done.
Can you...
No more interrupting. I'm done.
But
can I just...
My God.
I'm sorry. Okay, no, come back. Close the door. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm done.
Do you guys see what I have to deal with?
Life's so hard to date a guy who's like happy and likes to make you laugh. Oh, life sucks, Kelsey. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
As she says, she once dated a guy in high school.
Okay.
Well, we never actually defined the relationship, but we were hanging out and doing basically what people in a relationship do.
Do you think they had sex?
The devil's tango.
The devil's tango.
He was a senior and I was a junior. I had never had sex or gotten drunk or all the other stuff that people found cool then. This guy said he was okay to wait till I was ready and everything was going fine. All of a sudden, I started hearing rumors that he was sleeping with some girl in his class, and when I confronted him about it, we had a big fight and didn't talk for weeks. I started seeing them sneaking around school and even caught both of them coming out of a broom closet during one lunch period. When I finally confronted him again, he said that we were never really dating, and he assumed he was free to see other people. We stopped talking soon after that.
Yeah, good.
A couple years ago, he hit me up to apologize for what happened that day, and we laughed it off and kept in touch. Flash forward to now, he's 22, I'm 21. I still haven't had sex yet. We're both single, and he's asking me out, saying he was young and stupid back then. Because 22 is whatever, anyway.
22 is so much more mature than 18, yeah.
Saying he was young and stupid back then, and what happened would never happen again. The real issue here is I really like this guy, but I don't know if I can trust that what happened then was just childhood stupidity. I told him I'm not sure if I'll be able to give him what he wants, but he said he's willing to wait for me, although that's exactly what he said last time. Help me.
Okay. All right. Well, what's your take on this? So they dated in high school, and he cheated on her with another girl, and had been for a while, apparently, but was lying about it the whole time. And then she found out, they fought, they broke up. And now it's like 3, 4, 5 years later, something like that. They're in their early 20s. And he's like, I was just a dumb high school student. Haha, wasn't that weird? I'm really sorry I did that. And she's like, haha, yeah. And then she's like, I want to date him, but he cheated on me, many, many years ago. So can you really laugh it off as just like, I was just a dumb high school student, which to be fair, he was. They both probably were. And then, can you really change that much? Can you forgive a repentant cheater? Do you think he'll just do it again? Because he said he'll wait before, and then he cheated. Is he really going to wait now? What's your take on this, Kelsey?
I mean, obviously they've grown up some, because time has passed, and 4 years or so is a solid chunk of time.
Especially at that age, yeah.
So it'd be rude and dumb to say that they probably haven't grown and changed at all. But, I still think that 21, 22 is still really young, and I was still very irresponsible when I was that age. I know not everyone is, but I didn't feel like I became a fully formed adult until I was 25 years old.
Mm-hmm. I feel the same about me too.
With a working brain and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, high school, everyone's really dumb in high school. I'm speaking generally, by the way. I'm speaking more of emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. Some people are really they're smart, book smart. But emotional intelligence wise, people in high school are really dumb. People in college are pretty dumb. Yeah, not until mid-20s or so do I feel like I, and you as well apparently, is felt like I actually became an actual human being who could think and reason and was actually worth anything.
Think about the consequences of actions and
stuff. Right, because in high school, with this story, it's the guy wanted to have sex, and so he's like, well, I want to do it, so I'm gonna do it. you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, even in college, it's like, people don't really think so much about the consequences of their actions. But now that they're in their, late college years, 22, 21, so like graduating college or about to graduate in college, do you think you can really change that much? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, every person is different. So it depends on like what formative experiences you go through that like change your personality and your outlook on life and stuff, and how much you personally grow in that time period. I don't think that like a lot of people say, like, once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't subscribe to that myself. A lot of people who do cheat probably continue to, but I think a lot of people are able to change and grow up too.
Yeah, I mean, especially at that age, it's like if someone's a cheater when they're like 30 or something, then it's like, okay, maybe that's just who they are. But like, yeah, if you're like someone in high school or something, and the thing is, thinking back, it's like now at 33, thankfully, I am a very different person than I was at 18, very different person than I was at 23, very different person than I was at 26, And so, like you're saying, it's like not until my mid-20s to late 20s did I feel like I was actually like a person who could think critically about anything. Although, I mean, my life is a bit different than most people because, I lived on my own and worked full-time from 18 until now. And so, I always felt like I was a little more mature than most people my own age, especially my early 20s. But, yeah, if someone cheats in high school or even in college or whatever, it's like, yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be that way forever, but it also doesn't mean that they won't be either.
Yeah. Obviously, it's up to you. Like, we can't make this decision for you. If you feel comfortable dating someone again who has done this in the past, and you're willing to take that risk that it may happen again, then go for it. If you like them, then try it. But just know that it's a possibility that it could happen again.
I mean, it's the same with like, in high school and college, some people like to like party a lot and get like super, super drunk and do all this stuff. But then like, a lot of people kind of grow out of that when they get to like their mid to late 20s and onwards. And they're like, I don't, like I used to be the kind of person who would do all this stuff. But like now I just want like a quiet evening and watch a movie with my dog or whatever. It's like some people kind of grow. Like I was never into that scene, obviously. But like, I think a lot of people kind of grow out of that. So the idea is like in high school or even in college, it's like if someone's like a cheater or if someone's like really into all kinds of wackadoo stuff, but it's like hopefully they would mature and grow out of that as they get older. And so, him at 22, has he matured out of that? It's totally possible that he might have. Yeah, I mean, I still think now being 33, thinking back on someone who's 22, it's like, yeah, I feel like someone that age is still very young and stupid. But hopefully they would be more mature than someone who's 18,
Right.
So, yeah, I guess it's a risk. It's kind of like, if someone has like a criminal past, like, oh, they went to jail for doing something. And it's like, yeah, I was young and I made a mistake. I'll never do it again. Like a lot of people are like that. A lot of people do and say dumb things when they're teenagers that they would never do when they're older, myself included. Not that I was like arrested for something, but, just like, when you're that age, you just don't think of consequences and you don't like understand things well. You don't understand the world very well. And you think you do, but you don't. And then you do and say things that thinking back, like I think everyone as you get older, especially when you get to like my age, which is ancient, but like you think back and you just cringe so hard at what you used to do and say when you were like 22 and then 20 and 18 and 14 and 11 or what, like you think back like why did I dress that way? Why did I do that? Why did I do my hair that way? Why did I have those friends? Why did I date that guy? Why, it's like hopefully everyone thinks back and just cringes really hard at who you were 5, 6, 7 years ago. So the idea is, I think people can grow out of, cheating or whatever it is, if they want to.
Yeah. But I don't think that you should date him if you're constantly going to be stressing out about if he's going to cheat on you and if you don't trust him. Because if you don't trust him, then what's the point of even being together?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's one thing to be like, oh, I like him, and maybe I can look past him cheating. But if you're always going to be on edge all the time, about it, like you caught him cheating once, and years ago, whatever it was, and like you think you can look past it, but yeah, if you're just always going to be anxious about everything he does and says, and anytime he's on his phone, you're going to wonder like, oh, who's he talking to? Who's he? Just me and my friends going to hang out, do whatever. It's like, are you sure you can like tail him? In his car. Like, if it's going to be like that, then it would be better for you to not date him at all.
Yeah.
If you're always going to be worried about it, but sometimes people just make a mistake. They make a dumb choice. And then they're like, I'm never doing that again. And that, a lot of people are like that, but some people aren't. So it's definitely a risk, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, even if he never cheats again, if you're just going to assume that he is and you're just kind of always be on the lookout or whatever, then that seems like a very stressful situation for anyone to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, then it's definitely not worth it. Because you'll be miserable. So I would say think it through really well before you decide what you're going to do.
Yep. And I mean, well, kind of like with the email we read back at the beginning of like, reaching out to someone I didn't talk to for a year and, oh, we used to date, but now we're not. And like, this is a similar case where it's like, they dated and then they broke up for a while. And then now it's like, oh, now we're talking again. And now we're, whatever again. And it's like, it's nice to be with someone familiar, I guess. But there's also, I think, a lot of value in just like, trying to find someone who you have no baggage with, like someone you didn't go to school with, someone you didn't, used to date, someone you didn't, whatever, just like someone who's like new and you don't have to worry about all that stuff with. I feel like there's also some value in that too.
Yeah. Also, it says like they never defined the relationship when they were dating the first time.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. Just define the relationship.
Like,
just ask what are we doing? Are we dating? Because otherwise you're giving the person carte blanche to just do whatever they want.
Like in this case.
Right.
Where it's like, well, you didn't say we were exclusive. Like, I mean, I see both sides of it where it's like, on the one hand, yes, you should define the relationship early-ish. Although, some people are scared if it's like, oh, but if I come on too strong, it's going to be too heavy for them and they're going to think I'm some like, like I want to get married next week or whatever. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, it's like, I don't know, I think you should always assume you're exclusive unless otherwise stated.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
but
saying?
If you assume that, then stuff like this happens.
Well, no, I said you should assume you're exclusive. Like both people, like him being like, well, we never defined the relationship, but it's like, that's such like a douchey excuse.
Yeah.
To be like, well, I mean, yeah, we were like dating and stuff, but I thought you'd be cool with me sleeping with other people because you didn't tell me not to. You know what I mean? It's like, you didn't tell me not to, so I thought it was fine if I did. Like, it's so, like, you should just assume. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm just too old for that garbage. But, like, I would never date someone. Okay, I'm like an extremely monogamous person, but, like I would never, like, date someone and then assume like, oh yeah, like I'm talking to them every day and we're hanging out and we're doing all this like cool dating stuff. But like, she's probably cool with me sleeping with other people, right? Like, why would anyone assume that?
Well, if you don't talk about it, you don't know. That's why it'll take 2 minutes just talk about it.
True. No, I agree with what you're saying. Like you should, after the third, fourth date at the latest, you should be like, hey, what is happening here? Again, maybe it's because we're older. Like I said, when you're that age, I can see how it might be scary to be like, I don't want to scare them off. I don't want them to think that I'm some like psychopath or whatever. But like, it's just so much easier when you talk about here's what I want, here's the boundary, here's the line, blah, 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 and the other person's like, okay, I agree with that. Yep, we're exclusive, and I think that's what I want to. And you're like, okay, great, let's go skipping in the flowers for a while. Like that's great, but this whole thing about like, are we exclusive? Are we not? What's going on, man? Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't want to be the one to bring it up because that makes me look crazy.
Yeah.
Like, just do it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Everyone's so scared of like coming across as like weird,
not being cool, or yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, like, especially with girls, I feel like it's like they want to be like the cool girl. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I'm cool with whatever. Like, I'm the cool girl. I don't have any hang-ups. I don't have any whatever. Like, I don't want him to think I'm some, like, clingy weirdo or whatever, but it's like, oh, my God, just Just do it.
Yeah.
Just be like, I like you. I want to date you exclusively. I don't want you dating anybody else. I also don't want to date. I mean, we had that conversation on like our third date or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like, hey, so quick question. What is this? What are we doing here? What are we? And then you said something like, I mean, we're dating? Boyfriend, girlfriend? I was like, are we exclusive? I want to be exclusive. And you're like, I want to be exclusive too. And I was like, okay, that was great.
That was it.
Yeah. Took like 2 minutes. I think it's definitely a perk of being older is like, like me being, older and you being older. It was kind of like, we're both just like over the whole like, will they, won't they, like tension, whatever. It's like, I just want someone who's nice.
Yeah.
I just want someone who actually likes me. That would be great.
I'm not saying like it's okay that he did that because you guys you hadn't defined the terms of your relationship or whatever. I'm just saying, like, if you don't do that, then some people think that they can do stuff like what he did, and it'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, better just get it out of the way.
Yeah, right. It's not okay that he cheated and lied about it or whatever. Well, but this is also the thing, too, where you got to call shenanigans, right? Because he said... she started hearing rumors that he was sleeping with a different girl, and then she confronted him, and they had a big fight where I assume he denied it. Mm-hmm. Because then she saw them sneak around school, and then asked him about it, and then he's like, oh, I thought it was fine because we didn't define... Why didn't he say that the first time? Huh?
Yeah.
So clearly he knew what he was doing, right? He knew that it was wrong, or else he would have been like, it's like, the first time she's like, hey, are you sleeping with Jessica or whatever? And he's like, well, yeah, are we exclusive? Like, if he actually thought that, then that's what he would have said the first time. But she had to catch them red-handed before he was like, well, we're not exclusive, right? So it's clear this guy knew what I call full shenanigans. Okay, 100% shenanigans, full power shenanigans on this man. Okay, he knew what he was doing was wrong. He just wanted an out.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, blah, blah, vagina, So... yeah.
Think about it. Think what you really want. Do you want to be worrying all the time about whether he's being faithful or not? If you do end up dating, clearly define the terms of your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So you're both exclusive. You're not okay with you being with other people. Whatever.
Yeah. And then just like with any relationship, you just kind of have to hope for the best.
Yeah.
It's like, he might cheat again. Yes. He probably won't, but he might. And you just have to kind of take a leap of faith on that one and be like, I only want you, and I assume you only want me. And if there's ever any change in that, I hope you would tell me first, at the very least.
Yeah.
Instead of like cheating, but then not wanting to break up or whatever, like a lot of people do. Yeah, it's a leap of faith, but I mean, it might be worth it. It might work out well, but it might not, just like any relationship. So... good luck.
Yeah.
Whatever your name is.
Hope it works out however you want it to.
So there you go. Another episode in the can.
Yep. In the toilet.
Another just swirling around in there. Another episode floating in the toilet.
Stop.
I'm like 5 years old.
If you guys have any emails that you want us to read, you can send them to devilstangopodcast@gmail.com.
There you go. And if it's not too long, and if it's interesting, and it's not written by an 11-year-old who's like, how do I get girlfriend? Please give girlfriend. How do I say, you're 11, dude, calm down. Might read it on the show. You need any advice? Need any questions about things? Or just want to know about us? Doesn't have to be about you. You can ask us questions.
Yeah.
About our relationship. I feel like we talk about it a lot, but like, I don't know. What do the kids want to know? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we will talk to you all. Just yell at you next time.
Bye.